The New York Rangers have made a sneaky good signing that will have Rangers fans fired up, and it has major implications on Chris Drury's plans for the future of this team. We're going to break that down, as well as some shocking comments from Coach Peter Laviolette and some of the defensemen on the Rangers' play as of late. We're going to break all of that down in this episode of Rangers Digest, but before we do that, we do have a special announcement to make. We're very excited as it is that time of year. We're kicking off a March Madness bracket for the channel. We've partnered with the Hot Takes app and other digest channels for this event. It's completely free to sign up. Just download the Hot Takes app, click the March Madness banner at the top, and under groups, select the Digest Media pool. This is really exciting as there's over $25,000 in prizes to be won, and since there's a much smaller pool of people participating, there's a real chance to win big. So check out the link below in the pinned comment or the description, or scan the QR code on your screen to download the app, and make sure to use promo code DIGEST. It is cap sensitive, so DIGEST in all caps to get some exclusive perks when signing up. The main event round starts on March 16th, and if you have any trouble signing in, there is an email in the description that you can email for help, and we'll get you some help to log in. Thank you again to Hot Takes for partnering with us on this incredible opportunity, and we look forward to seeing you all in the Digest Media pool for your March Madness bracket. And thank you once again to the Hot Takes app for partnering with us on this cool event. And again, remember to use promo code DIGEST. It is cap sensitive, DIGEST in all caps. But let's get right into it. The New York Rangers have officially signed Jonathan Quick to a contract extension. I think most Rangers fans can agree this is a great move. He's going to be moving into his 40th or his 40-year-old season, not his 40th season. That would be a little crazy, but his age 40 season, which I think is pretty impressive because he's still putting up good numbers, and we're going to get to those numbers in just a second. But this is from Vince, who broke the news this morning. Well, I guess everyone was kind of on the news this morning, but they have agreed to a one-year contract extension with Jonathan Quick, and he'll remain as Igor's number 2 for his age 40 season. The AAV of his contract is $1.55 million, which for a goalie who's still putting up really good stats, and for a guy who's won a Stanley Cup, and I know he's getting a little bit older, I feel like that's a good deal. I feel like that is a fair deal, especially with the salary cap going up a lot. And if you take a look at the advanced analytics, he's been pretty good. Like, he's not elite or anything like that, but he offers you some good minutes. Every time he's in the crease, you can expect to win, I think, this year. Especially earlier this season, this guy quite literally won this team games. And I know a lot of people are going to roll their eyes at that, expect to win when he's in the crease. What are you talking about with the Rangers, especially after last night, another loss? That's, we're going to have another video on that. I'm going to break that down. But, yeah, I think that, pretty crazy that every time he comes into the crease for the Rangers, he at least, I think, gives them a chance to win. He's going to have games where he's off, and the advanced analytics, again, he's not a leader or anything like that, but I think that he has honestly stolen games this year for the New York Rangers. And as you can see here, contract extension with Jonathan Quick officially announced from the New York Rangers. And from Molly Walker, a very extensive breakdown of the contract going into next year. So here's some very intricate details from the deal. So he has a $550,000 signing bonus. It's a $1 million base. So obviously the contract works out to, the both, I guess, $1.55 million, $300,000 of possible performance bonuses. And some of those performance bonuses include starting 20 games and having a .915 save percentage. And he gets $75,000 more if he gets a .915 save percentage. That's insane, because we're going to get into stats in a minute. He does not have that. So to see if he will have that next year, I mean, there's a real incentive for him to try and get that save percentage up next year. If he plays 35 games, which could be likely, $25,000. If he plays 40 games, which I think, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. Igor Shesterkin, he's making that money. He should play a lot, but we'll see if Jonathan Quick gets this many games. $50,000. If he wins 20 games, he gets an extra $50,000. If he wins 25 games, he gets an extra $100,000. So shout out to Jonathan Quick, and this is from the New York's Post Sports as well. Rangers give Jonathan Quick a raise with a contract extension. This is a pretty good article about Jonathan Quick, his time in New York, and obviously why he deserves the contract, or maybe doesn't deserve the contract in some of your eyes. Let me know in the comments what you think. If he does deserve it, if he doesn't deserve it, I think Jonathan Quick has earned this contract. And not just that, but for this team to have a guy locked up that you know is a very dependable backup goalie for one more year is great for Chris Drury. I think it's smart work. The fact that he's going to play another season, I think it's a great idea for the Rangers. Obviously, you have Garand coming up. He might be the guy in the future, but for one more season to get this under wraps for, 1.55 million, I think that's tidy work, and I'm glad that they re-signed him because Jonathan Quick, at the end of the day, he's just a vibe, and I'm glad that he's on the team, and, he does give it his best every night. He got shelled the other night, we know that, but the Rangers have been throughout the season as well. Anyway, so if you take a look at his stats since becoming a New York Ranger, he had a .911 save percentage last year, a .262 goals against average. Again, I think goals against average is a bit more of a team stat than anything else, but nonetheless, still got to take it into consideration. That was in 27 games. So for him to play 40 games next year, I'm not sure if he's going to get that signing bonus, but in 21 games so far this year, he has a .896 save percentage, and a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, oh my goodness, he's fallen off, which can be true to a degree, but keep in mind, scoring in the league is up. The average save percentage across the league is like an 889 to like a 902 kind of thing, so he's not too far behind the league average. Like, he's giving you essentially a little bit less or a little bit worse than league average goaltending, which for a backup goalie is enough, I think. And considering he got shelled last game for 7, the last game that he played, not horrible. He's putting up some decent numbers this season, and when you look at the goals against average, not great. I mean, compared to last season, man, a .262 is great. This year, a .314. So not as great, obviously, but since becoming a New York Ranger, he's been a great backup option for this team. And this is from Bench Rates, who do a lot of advanced analytics as well. And a fair deal for a reliable, experienced goalie. Jonathan Quick has $800,000 paid contribution in 21 games this season. It is far away from his average recent numbers in his last season, $4.2 million in 27 games. When the team bounces back, he will get back to better numbers and will be worth or even overperform $1.55 million with his limited minutes. So he does play limited minutes, and also keep in mind he's won them games earlier this season. I do truly believe that. And when you look at this and the advanced analytics, I mean, he is playing up to, his worth essentially and what they're paying him. So he's doing his job. The team's got to be better. We talked about it earlier this season. The Rangers, and a lot of why Shesterkin was struggling, is the defense and the structure. We're going to get to that in another video. I'm going to have 2 videos today for you guys. So we'll break that down in another video, but it's the defensive structure. Goalies are overthinking things when you play on the New York Rangers because of how chaotic it is to play as a goaltender for the New York Rangers this year. So they're overthinking things and they're not playing their style. So I feel like there's a little bit of that in Quick's game as well, but he's been pretty good for the most part this year. And I think it's a very well-deserved contract for the New York Rangers goaltenders. So let me know in the comments what you think of re-signing Jonathan Quick. I think it was a no-brainer if he was going to play another year. You get your backup goalie for one more year. You can figure it out after this year. So you buy yourself some time. He's put up really good numbers, and I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to live up to the $1.55 million. So I think it'll be just fine. And one last season, it seems like, at least for Jonathan Quick as a New York Ranger. So let me know in the comments what you think of the signing. I think it's a good one, very low risk as well. And again, you get your backup goalie for the next year. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.